And welcome back to another episode of Life with a Smile. Today I wanted to go ahead and talk about one of my favorite Netflix shows, which is 13 Reasons Why. Season 2 was released this weekend and I just could not wait to get into it. But before we get into the Season 2, why don't you go ahead and get this video a thumbs up, you guys. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel so that way you may know whenever I post my next video. And when we're done with the video, go ahead and comment down below any thoughts that you want to, whatever you think about this video, what you think about the season. And warning, before we get into this video, if you have not watched season 2 of 13 Reasons Why, if you have not watched season 1 of 13 Reasons Why, please just put this video on pause, go finish all the episodes, and then come back. But let's get into it. As some of you may or may not know, 13 Reasons Why is a Netflix show based off a book that was released years ago by Jay Asher, and it is a book about a high school girl named Hannah Baker who committed suicide. Before she died, she recorded 13 tapes that was to the people who she blamed for her suicide, and they made a whole Netflix show about that, showing that, and it's basically to start the conversation about bullying and all these stuff that happened in high school that people are uncomfortable about talking. So I have watched season 1, and this weekend I went ahead and watched season 2, and I was so happy. I binge watched it. I finished it in a day. I finished it at 2 a.m. And I noticed that there were a couple of themes in there that were really strongly highlighted that I was really happy about. And in this episode, I really wanted to go ahead and dissect them. And I'm going to be talking about the 3 main ones. So the first theme I want to get into is the theme of sexual assault, which ran throughout the whole first season and the second season. So the whole season is about the trial of Mrs. Baker. She's accusing the school of, it being their fault that her daughter committed suicide because they didn't take action when they should have. So now there is tape 9, which is Hannah's talking about Jessica's rape, okay? As we all know, if you watch season 1, Bryce Walker raped Hannah and raped Jessica. However, he's just walking around willy-nilly like, I didn't do anything wrong. They wanted it. It's me, Bryce! Okay, so Bryce has this twisted mentality of, I'm Bryce Walker and I can do anything I want, okay? But that's not the reality of life. You can't go around treating people like crap because you have money and because you're white. Throughout the whole series, everybody is wanting Jessica to open her mouth and to testify that Bryce Walker raped her. However, one thing she's not able to do is to confess to that because she doesn't even understand that. She hasn't healed from it. She hasn't processed it yet. She needs the time to really go through it, to accept the fact that something happened to her and to heal. She is still sleeping on the floor of her parents' room. Okay, so Jessica just has a lot of healing to do throughout the show. So everybody's constantly like, Jessica, testify. Clay's like, you've got to testify justice for Hannah. Justin's like, I'll testify for you. I'll testify. And everybody's just like, Jessica, testify. And she's just like, no, it's my story. And when I am ready to say it, I will say it. They find out later about the clubhouse, which is a little house behind the baseball field that the little baseball players take these girls there and they sexually assault them, and then they take Polaroids of them to commemorate the sexual assault. The baseball team is messed up. And actually in one scene, Bryce is remembering the time that he is raping Hannah, and Mr. Man Shrimp, got a little stimulated. And it really shows you that Bryce Walker is a terrible human being who deserves to rot in prison. However, when Jessica finally gets the strength that she's finally healed and processed and gone through the whole process of acceptance of what happened to her, she finally testifies and they take the whole thing to court, and it comes to this point where they're given the verdict. Okay, now Justin, who witnessed the rape and kind of allowed Bryce to rape Jessica, also testified against Bryce, and it turns out that Bryce Walker got 3 months of probation, And then you have Justin, who got 6 months of probation. Now, a lot of people were mad because it was just like, how in the world could somebody who did so bad get 3 months while somebody who was good at heart and just really made a bad mistake and has been guilty of it this whole time gets 6 months? Neither one of them got jail time, for crying out loud. One thing I appreciated about it was that it was realistic. In most situations of sexual assault, the victims usually don't get the justice that they deserve. A lot of the assaulters often get less time than they should get. Most of the time they get slaps on the wrist, especially when they're rich white folks like Bryce Walker was. Now, if the situation was different and the assaulter was probably black, I mean, he'd probably rotted out, but that's a story for another day. Sued the Bakers versus the school. So the Bakers basically took the school to court and they said, no, we're going to blame you for the suicide of our daughter. Well, actually, it was the mom, because the dad left her because he was a cheating man. They're in the middle of getting a divorce, so he left the mom all alone, and she's the one that is still really messed up. She actually has the dress from when she found Hannah in the tub. She still has it saved up in the closet, and she has this little white creepy lady following her throughout the whole season. And she washed the dress, and Miss Baker had a whole breakdown, and she was like, the dress! You know, she wanted to fight. You know, she wanted to slap homegirl upside the head, but she didn't. They brought each of the characters onto the stand, and they all came there to testify each day. Clay was all about getting justice for Hannah. Tyler wanted to just say what he did. Alex, who, you know, tried to commit suicide and failed, he also wants justice for Hannah, but he can't remember anything because he shot himself in the head. But so they brought everybody into the court, and everybody was testifying. And the school's lawyer was the most brutal, savage lawyer I have seen in the history of lawyers in all television shows. She was out for blood. If you watched season 1, you felt so bad for Hannah. You were like, oh my gosh, Hannah, all the bad things that are happening to you. Like, you wanted justice for Hannah. You wanted everybody to pay for what happened to Hannah. But by season 2, I mean, midway, you were kind of like, I felt bad. You're like, I felt bad. I felt bad for her. I did. Me? I felt bad. I don't know who Hannah Baker is. I mean, Hannah Baker was a bully. She bullied a girl in her old school. She slept with Zach. Zach and Hannah were a couple. Back on topic. But the lawyer was a straight savage. She took every single thing that everybody said about Hannah that didn't make her seem like a sweet, perfect angel, and she magnified it. It might have been like, oh yeah, me and Hannah kissed. They turned it into, well, Hannah was a slut. Should we really be upset that a slut killed herself? Yeah, because suicide is wrong and bullying is wrong. Duh. Like duh. But the lawyer was out for blood, and one of the most saddest, most powerful testifiers that was on that court was Mr. Porter. As you know, Mr. Porter was the last person that Hannah saw before she went to go kill herself, and he basically told her that if you don't want to say who I am, then you're gonna have to get over it. And then Hannah went home and killed herself. So Mr. Porter had a lot of guilt, because he was like, it was my fault, I could have done better. And the school was telling him, you better say you did all that you could. But on that stand, Mr. Porter broke down and he cried and he said, no, we have got to do better as teachers. We have got to do better to these students, because there is more that could be done to help these children. And eventually he lost his job, because, you know, you do something good in the school and then they fire you. Because it's about the money, not about the students. Yeah. Okay. I absolutely loved that they highlighted that, hey, the lawyer is going to make the victims look like demons. They're not here for the victims, okay? That is not what they're about. That is not what they care about. It is not a system for victims. And eventually the Bakers lost. And although the school was partially at fault for the death of Hannah Baker, did they pay? No. Because that's the reality of it. And in a lot of situations of suicide where they take it to court, most of the victims' families lose. And that's just the reality. Like, they really stuck to it. Another theme I really want to talk about was bullying and how it bled into the school shooting. Now, tragically, on the day that season 2 was released, there were 2 shootings. I believe one of them was in Georgia, and then the other one was in Texas. A lot of innocent individuals lost their lives in those school shootings, and there is no justification for shooting up a school. And anybody who is not for stricter gun laws, then I really need you to reevaluate your life. There's been over 20 school shootings in the year 2018 alone. Let that sink in, okay? But not to get too far off track. Anybody who watched season 1 knows that everybody thought Tyler was going to be the one to come up in the school to shoot it up. Because, Tyler just had that. He just had that, like, you just knew. Tyler was the one that was constantly secluded from every single group. Even the group of the people on the tapes who bonded together and all of a sudden became like a gang, even though it was a dysfunctional gang, you know, they were still a gang. But Tyler, they still like pushed Tyler out. It's like Tyler would come in and they'd just be like, nah man, nah man, you're not, like, nah man, like, back up. Tyler had absolutely no friends. Whenever he tried to come in and put in a thought, they were always like, shut up Tyler, get out. And Tyler was the one that was constantly bullied, even by people who should embrace him and who should care about him. Like, the group of people on the tapes knew about bullying. They knew how the bullying affected Hannah, but yet they did it to Tyler, and it just made no sense because they felt guilty about what they did to Hannah, but they were doing it to Tyler. And I mean, I gotta be honest, Tyler was a creep and he was stalking Hannah, and he was a major reason in why Hannah killed herself. But I mean, it just like they just pushed him out, and Tyler had nobody to talk to, nothing at all. Even his parents didn't understand that Tyler was being bullied to them. He was the one who had issues. Not everybody else who was like attacking their son, but it was their son, the victim, who had issues. Tyler was easily influenced. He met some kid in the class, and, you know, he started vandalizing stuff because the kid taught him it was cool. But Tyler was desperate for companionship and for a friend, so he just went along with it. And he kept constantly talking about power. He kept constantly saying that they never look out for the victims. They're always back with them being the bullies. And nobody will listen to Tyler. So basically the school is telling Tyler that, hey, yeah, you're the victim, but we're not going to listen to you. We're going to treat you like you're the assaulter. And they decided that they were going to send him to this program that was going to help him deal with this anger and was going to help him deal with situations better, because that's what he needed, okay? And it was just like, wait, why are you punishing me for being a victim when you should be addressing the situation at hand and the athletes bullying me? And they were just like, no, yeah, we know what you're saying, but, like, we're going to send you out to a program and you need to get help, okay? So they send him off, and then Tyler comes back like a whole different human being. Tyler went from, to, yeah, I really enjoyed the program. He meets with the new counselor the first day he's back, and she's like, so do you think you're prepared to go into these halls and to handle yourself accordingly? And Tyler's like, yes, I truly think so. Say, okay, just go. We're gonna send you back into the lion's den. We're gonna send you back into the field of bullies that we know are gonna come for you and maybe kill you, okay? Because we don't care. We don't care about you. So Tyler goes by, and he was like, okay, goodbye. Warning, there is a very gruesome and terrible scene. Very terrible, unnecessary yet somewhat necessary scene at the 38-minute mark in the 13th episode. So if you're highly triggered, just skip over that scene. It's like a minute long. Just skip over it, because yeah, you'd be traumatized. I'm so traumatized. Basically what happens was Tyler goes into the bathroom. Now there is a gang of 3 boys that are still mad after this Bryce has already been taken to court. So Monty, which is like this little terrible human being, like this terrible devil that like follows Bryce's around. So it's like 2 devils like rolling together. But he wanted to get revenge because of what Tyler did somehow Baseball season was canceled and Monty was really upset. So what he does is that he meets Tyler in the restroom, and then, you know, he's talking to Tyler, and Tyler apologizes to him. He says, you know what, like, I'm sorry for anything that might have happened. Monty, being the devil that he is, takes his head, bangs it into the mirror, bangs it into the sink, takes it to the toilet, dunks it in there. Now, this next scene I'm not going to talk about because these actions I did not need to see. Okay? I'm still hurt. I'm still hurt for Tyler. And I still want them to pay. Because nobody deserves that. But they left the bathroom and they left Tyler in a bloody mess. And, you know, Tyler goes home and his mom asks him, like, how was your first day, honey? And you can just see that Tyler is a mess, obviously. And he's just like, yeah, Mom, yeah. First day was great. She's like, oh, son, I knew you were going to have a great day. Completely oblivious to the fact that her son was in pain. And, you know, Tyler was like, revenge is revenge. You know, he's entitled. And it was kind of hard in that scene to not be like, he's entitled to do what he's about to do. Until he started opening up the case, and then you could see all the guns that he had there, and it was like, whoa, 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 back it up, reverse, you know, because it was a lot of guns, and the reality of you're going to kill innocent people, just, it was settling. And long story short, Tyler didn't shoot up the dance, thankfully, because Clay went out there and was like some big macho hero and stopped him, thankfully. I was happy that they didn't have the shooting in the show because of the shootings happening that day, and it just would have been a weird mix of events. And but yeah, there'll be a season 3. But a lot of people don't understand the show, and to them the show is a very bad show that glorifies all these bad things, but really honestly is a show that makes you see these things for what they are. They're not sugarcoating it. They're not making it seem like it's some candy coated thing that is happening. No, they're telling you that bullying is bad and it's real. They're telling you that suicide is bad and it's real. They're telling you sexual assault is bad and it's real. They're telling you this is the reality of all of this. And it's saying that, hey, we need to address these situations because they're not benefiting the youth. They're not benefiting this country, and it needs to stop today. We need to take action, like, today. So now. So I got a few 3-pointers that I learned from this video that I think everybody should learn. My first one is for the parents. As a parent, please pay attention to your child. That does not mean be a helicopter parent and being with them every 5 seconds and like not letting them have room to grow. But pay attention to your kids. If they're down, notice that they're down. If they're angry, notice that they're angry. When they come to you to talk to you about something, listen to them. Don't let anybody else tell you about your child. Because at the end of the day, that's your kid. And if anybody else is telling you what your child did, yeah, I think you're being a bad parent. Like, know what is up with your kid. Honestly, because kids that are being bullied, kids that are depressed, they show signs. Like, there are signs in all these situations, and you can see them as a parent if you are paying attention. Encourage your kids. Motivate your kids. Don't put them down. Because honestly, even if you don't notice the signs and something happened, at least you can say, I did my best. So just pay attention to your kids. I mean, that's really simple. Pay attention to them. Number 2, to the faculty. Hey, you work in a school. You work with kids. I don't care if you're a janitor. You could be a superintendent. You could be the principal. You could be the teacher in the class that nobody has. But your job as being in a school is to uplift those kids and to constantly motivate them no matter what. If you encounter a kid, make sure you tell them that you can do it. You'll be fine no matter what. Because schools need to do better, okay? It should be about the students and stop being about the money. Because guess what? It's a place for students. So do your job as a faculty member today. Okay? And last but not least, to the students of schools, whether it be middle school, elementary, or high school, stop bullying. It's not cute. It's 2018. Grow up. It's not mature. Stop doing it. Honestly, a lot of the stuff, that bad things that are happening could be stopped if people would just stop bullying. Treat everybody as you want to be treated. Love as you want to be loved. And if you want a better future, start treating people the way you want to be treated, so that way we can all have a better future. I could stop hearing about school shootings. Yeah, but that is my video for today. Thank you for watching this and getting to the end. And I really hope you guys enjoyed season 2, but go ahead and comment down below what you thought of the season, what you think are the proactive movements that we need to make so that way our schools could be better and stronger, and that way we could spread the love in the community and don't continue to live your life with a smile, you guys. Bye.